There's like this big drama that's happening in this latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen because you have Yuta over here talking about that he will go and fight against Sukuna to help out GoJo because GoJo he has to fight against two Shikigamis and Sukuna at the same time, 3 versus 1. And then you have Kashimo here saying that, hey, don't interfere. And besides, I'm the next person. So you wait back in line, Yuta. And then next thing you know, you have Maki comes in out of nowhere saying to Kashimo, like, bro, you are wrong. I'm the next person to go on ahead and battle against Sukuna. And so then you have Hikari and the rest of the other people who are kind of like Team Kashimo, who are just stating like, yeah, we should not interfere at all. Like this fight should be GoJo alone because we have to deal with Kenjaku and we also have to handle out with Urami as well. So it was just kind of very interesting how the beginning of this chapter, it was just 100% crazy because as soon as Kashimo told Yuta, like, hey, don't interfere. And besides, you're not the next person. I am. We see Kashimo's electricity just surrounding him as Yuta, he's trying to flex with his cursed energy flowing around his body. And Hikari is trying to be peacemaker, saying, like, calm down, bro. Kashimo is right about this. GoJo is the only time that we're allowed to interfere in this fight is when GoJo is weaker than us. But then Yuta is just stating that, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to go on ahead and actually beat Sukuna because Sukuna's domain expansion is no more and Sukuna is weak at this point. Plus, me and Rika, we can go on ahead and handle these two Shikigamis. But Maki says if someone is going, it's going to be me, which irritated Kashimo because he's the one that claimed that if GoJo lose, I'm stepping in. He's the first one to step in. And now he has Maki throwing in her hat saying that she's going to be the one to be stepping in. And so Maki says that to Yuta, don't forget your role. We were thinking that if you're defeated, some of the insurance will be gone. But then Yuta's still trying to make his claim by saying that if we all jump in on Sukuna right now, there will not be any insurance. So we should take this gamble. And of course, Yuta has a cheerleader, someone to help him back him up is Yuji, because Yuji is just like, you know what, I believe in you, you can do it. So Kusasabe, he's in the background just like, oh my gosh, I cannot take this bickering anymore. You guys just do not understand. Give me a break. Shut the hell up because you guys are just messing up everything. And Mei goes on ahead and explained that there are two different requirements on whoever wins this fight. If GoJo wins, then we will handle Kenjaku. Now, if Sukuna wins, then we will jump in and not give Sukuna a break while we're battling against him. On top of that, Hikari chimes in by saying that Sukuna hasn't even activated his trump card yet, so he's preserving it for GoJo. So if we jump in now, he might use it against us. On top of that, Kusasabe also stated that we have to worry about Urami. On top of that, GoJo fights better when he doesn't have to worry about anybody in the battlefield. So without any hindrance, GoJo fights best. And we can see this throughout this chapter or just throughout this whole fight, how GoJo is handling this whole situation. So of course, Yuta, he decided that he's not going to go on ahead and interfere. And of course, Kashimo, he has to say one last word to Yuta by saying that whatever happens in this battle, it is lame to interfere because Kashimo, of course, he is the past sorcerer. So, of course, he believes on fighting your opponent honorably and not just, jumping in. It's just a one-on-one battle. But then we focus on the current battle as GoJo, he's fighting against the two Shikigamis as Sukuna is lurking in the shadows and GoJo is dodging every single attack that these Shikigami is going at. But it looks like he's going after Agito because he noticed that Agito is a fusion of a whole bunch of Shikigamis. So of course, GoJo, he goes on ahead and he used the Black Flash and then he grabs the tail and then he throws or rip off pieces of the tail of Agito as he noticed that Agito is an inheritance of Nu, the Great Serpent, the tiger and round deer. And at this point, he needs to actually eliminate Agito first, because if Agito is able to do the reverse curse technique and reverse Sukuna, then things will be bad, because he doesn't want Sukuna to actually be 100%, because Sukuna, he's not 100% at this moment. Sukuna has a lot of cursed energy and he's able enough to go ahead and do damage, but at this time, Sukuna at this state is very weakened. So GoJo, he's just like, yeah, I need to destroy this Shikigami before he even do reverse curse technique and make Sukuna be 100%. So GoJo goes on ahead and try to make his focus, but Maharaga goes on ahead and appears and he tries to attack GoJo, and GoJo continues on dodging every single attack that Maharaga goes at. But of course, Agito shows up and appears, but GoJo goes on ahead and punch Agito. And they go on the details on Sukuna's condition, because Gojo wants to go on ahead and use purple. And at the current state that Sukuna's in, if Gojo used purple, then Sukuna will actually die, because that attack will be fatal, compared to if Agito goes on ahead and heals Sukuna, then it will just damage Sukuna. And they go in an explanation on why, when Gojo did that overpower purple during the beginning of their fight, that the distance was caused Sukuna to actually survive that attack and was able to like burn off his hands and his arms. So at this current moment, Sukuna, he's in the shadows and he's talking to Maharaga like, bruh, man, you better showcase your skills and ability, because, you know, I'm not Megumi. You're fighting for me. So then Maharaga was just like, all right, cool, bet. So he was able to enough to go on ahead and slash and cut off Gojo's right arm, or one of his arms. And at this point, it kind of just looks like a lot of people speculating that he might have used this mantle on Gojo, because the theory is that every technique that Maharaga has actually adapted, maybe he could use that as an offense. So everyone's in shock to see that Gojo's arm has been cut off, and everyone is just like, this is bad, this is bad. And then we see Sukuna, he takes the opportunity to jump out of the shadows and kick Gojo, and then they all start jumping on him. The Shikigamis, Maharaga, and Sukuna, they go on ahead and they just start jumping him. And then, of course, Agito, he goes on ahead and land a punch against Gojo, but Gojo was just like, you're not strong enough here. And he used the orb to go on ahead and destroy Agito, as he used blue maximum output. And he was able to destroy Agito and destroy everything that's around him. And with 41 seconds later, Agito is defeated, and now it's 2 versus 1, as Gojo is able to stand tall, and he's going to go on ahead and fight against Sukuna and Maharaga. And the chapter ends as we see Gojo is just looking all serious. So this chapter, it just showcased that Gojo is him. No matter how much of the obstacle that Gojo faced, he is still that guy. And he was able enough to go on ahead and beat one of the Shikigamis just with one arm. And it looks like by the time that he was able to defeat and destroy Agito, it looks like he's about to go on ahead and heal his arm back by using reverse curse technique. So it's just kind of just very interesting. But throughout this whole chapter, it was just real cool to see how Gojo is handling the whole situation, and that his priorities have shifted from just pretty much try to destroy Maharaga to destroy Agito, then focus on Maharaga. And so it looks like Gojo, he's going to go on ahead and use more of his powerful techniques against this beast. But of course, one thing too I forget to mention is that the wheels has actually spin when Maharaga was able to cut Gojo's hands off, well, arm off. So, you know, that was one thing I failed to mention. But other than that, this was a very exciting chapter. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I'm just rambling on. So let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this chapter. What is your favorite part? Thoughts, theories, corrections, anything else? Let me know down in the comment section. If you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. It's the Monotone Man, and hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.